Hi guys, today I'm going to do a no makeup tutorial. It should take you no more than 5 to 10 minutes to do this. So if you're interested, please stay tuned. Thanks. We're going to blend everything out with a beauty blender. You can always use your hands or a foundation brush to, distribute the tinted moisturizer all over your face, but I love it. I love it dearly. It gives you the flawless finish like you did, have an airbrushing machine, but you don't. And it's way, way cheaper. So I started my cheeks and I just blend out, getting your chin, going over to the other side, blending. It's a very, very sheer coverage. I'm only using this to even out my skin. I find a beauty blender to be way easier to distribute the tinted moisturizer. I mean, my hands would be even better, but I just don't like it. Next, I am going to get rid of some of my dark spots underneath my eyes and some acne scarring that I have. I use Makeup Forever's 5 Camouflage palette. As you can see, I use the orange. I use my finger yet again to warm up the cream because it's somewhat thick. And when the heat from my finger warms it up and makes it easier to apply. So I just dab it in with my ring. Not my ring finger. Whatever finger is this? Your index finger? Yeah, your index finger. And notice the difference. This eye has the orange on it, and it cancels out all of the darkness, and this one doesn't have it. So next I'm going to do the other eye. Until it's all gone. Look, that looks normal. Next I use MAC's Prolongwear in NC14. I use this part of my palette to actually squirt the Prolongwear in. And that's it there. I take this much and I dab. You have to work really, really quickly with this one because it dries fairly quick. How many times can you say quick in a sentence? Anywho, and I just blend it out. I know y'all like, this girl don't have no type of brush. I do, but I just like my fingers. Blend. As long as you keep moving the product around, you should be good. And for this one, oddly enough, I don't use my beauty blender because for some odd reason it kind of cakes up a tad bit and it kind of discolors the concealer. Concealer, no concealer. So now I want to do the other side. Dab, dab, dab. Blending. And I actually blend over here to where I have some scars. I really can't see it. But I have them. Wow. Next, I'm going to use it here and a little here. The product blends really well for me. Like a little blending. And I have one perfect. Next, we're going to use the Anastasia's Brow Wiz in Brunette. I first start off with combing out my brows, combing all the hairs in place, like so. And I use very short strokes to fill them in. I'm trying to grow back my brows now so they can be very, very, very bushy. Not bushy, but full. Bushy is like for a man. Short strokes. Filling it in at the tail. Like that one. The next one, short strokes. I fill in the bottom, like an outline. I fill in the body of it, focusing more towards the end because that's where it's not very, somewhat sparse. And then I fill in the top. I leave my front somewhat untouched so it looks natural. I might extend it a little bit. And then I brush the product evenly through the brow. Like so. Next, we're going to highlight some of the key areas of our face, the bridge of our nose, our cheekbones, our forehead, cupid's bow, and our chin. I'm going to be using Benefit's High Beam, a couple of dots. And then we're going to rub it in the bridge of our nose. And since I have so much product, I can actually do like that. It doesn't, it might look weird at first, but once the light hits these areas, it highlights them. So our cheek, and I go up like so. And then the same for the other side. Little dab, and a little dab here. Can you see the difference? So, now and this. How radiant! We're almost done. Next, I'm going to use blush. I'm going to use NARS's Exhibit A, which is this my favorite color. It's orange. Don't be afraid. I know it's kind of bright, but with NARS's products, I find that a little goes a long way. So I'm going to use my kabuki brush to actually do this. I just dab it once. You can barely see anything, and then I apply it to the apples of my cheeks. See that? And if you feel that it's not enough, you can always build up. So now I'm building. If you always feel that you've used too much, you can blend it out with your brush. Just keep on and keep on, and eventually it will blend out. So this is a side that has the blush, and this is the side that doesn't. It's really subtle. It's not like clownish. So going up to the temple. Steven. Next, I'm going to line my waterline with NYX's Milk Liner. And instead of using the pencil on my waterline, I'm going to use an angle brush. I load up the liner. I load up the brush with the liner. So it looks like so. Still flat. And then I just apply it to my waterline. Oh. The white opens up your eye and makes your eyes make your eyes appear larger. And you look more awake. White liner, not. My eye seems a tad bit more open with this one. I'm going to do the same to the next eye. If you mess up, you can always use a cotton swab or your finger. I'm going to use Smashbox's Shell Liner in Midnight Black. I'm once again going to use an angle brush. I use an angle brush because it's much easier. I can just push the product directly into my lash line. Like so. I'm not really, drawing the line in. I'm actually just pushing it into my lash line. And some people might think like, oh, this is going to take forever. It might. But it didn't take me. No, really. Pushing it in, you get a more of a smoother line. It's easier application. And once you get used to, this, you can actually just draw it in. This, you can actually just draw it in. Pushing it in, you get a more of a smoother line. It's easier application. And once you get used to, you know, this, you can actually just draw it in. Like so. Drawing in the line is a tad bit thicker for me. Over here, it's more thinner. You can barely see it. And for this look, I'm not really trying to make it that defined. I just want your lash line to look a tad bit darker. But I need to even this out, so that's it. Can you see? My lash line looks much darker. So when I apply my mascara, which is Lorac Pro in black, it would kind of look like I have lashes applied, and I really don't. So I start from there, and I just work my way up. Wiping off any excess. You see how this lash looks way darker? The only thing that you applied was the gel liner to the top to make your lash line look darker, and some black mascara. And this one just doesn't have mascara, and it looks a tad bit different. So now, just a little mascara. Jesus. Goes a long way. I'm a mascara whore. So I add like some more coats, especially towards the end to flick it out. I do the same for the other side. If any of you guys know of a good mascara that lengthens, adds volume, and curls, please tell me, because that's what I love. Well, that's what I look for in a mascara. I only got this one because it was like $10 at Sephora. $10, I can do that. $10 holla. Now add a little to the bottom. Next, I'm using Sugar Lip Treatment. This is like the original one. I use this to add a little moisture to my lips. I have really dry lips. I drink a lot of water. I don't know. Next, I'm going to use e.l.f.'s Tea Rose on my lips. And I just draw this in. I think this is a great color for the spring. Night. It's a setting spray. I usually don't use powders because it makes my skin really dry. So you shake this well. And you spray it 4 times. And then since I have issues with underneath my eye, I use a makeup sponge. Spray it. And I dab it underneath my eye. I believe that this helps my concealer stay a tad bit longer underneath my eye, and it won't let it melt away throughout the day. So this is a finished look. I hope you guys enjoyed my brief tutorial. Please leave comments, and if you like it, subscribe to my station. Thanks.